What's new? Get ready.
Hello there, everybody, and welcome to episode 34 of the Play to Win podcast. My name is Tyler, and I'm joined, as always, by my fantastic co-host, Keiran. What's going on with you, man? How's it going?
It's going pretty good. Again, very busy week, but other than that, pretty good.
Yeah, it's been a busy week, work-wise, and just with everything going on in the gaming industry, it's felt like a longer week than it actually has been. So we're not going to waste any time getting into this stuff because it's going to be kind of a meaty episode, some lengthy topics here. So with all all that out the way, this is the Play to Win podcast, a show where we break down the week's biggest gaming news through in-depth discussion. If you want to bounce around in this episode, check the description for timestamps. As always, they are there if you want to just listen to certain parts and not the entire thing. Remember, go check out our website, playtowingames.wordpress.com, which is a home for all our content. You can find our written versions of reviews and previews over there. It's just a nice home for all our stuff. You can follow us over on Twitter and Instagram at playtowingame for updates on the show and other little things that we may post over there. Also, subscribe to us while you are here on YouTube. If you are here on YouTube watching this right now, subscribe, turn the notification bell so that you know when videos go live. You can be one of the first to watch them. Like the video, comment on it, share the stuff. Same goes for podcast services as well. Leave reviews, subscribe, all that stuff. It is very much appreciated and it helps us out a lot. So please do all those things if you enjoy what we do here and want to see and or listen to more. With all that being said, though, on all that housekeeping stuff out the way, I'm going to preview the topics for this week's episode. This week, first up, we're going to be talking about how Bobby Kotick needs to resign from Activision Blizzard. We'll also be talking about the Xbox 20th anniversary stream and Halo Infinite multiplayer's surprise release and more stuff. But before we get into any of those main topics, we got some brief mentions to get through, and we'll get through them pretty quickly because there actually are not a lot here this week, thankfully. First up, we have Nintendo is officially partnering with Panda Global for the first official Super Smash Bros. Tournament for Ultimate and Melee. It's happening in North America next year. This is a big deal if you are in the Smash community or have been somewhat observant of the Smash community. Nintendo and the Smash community don't have the best relationship, and they've never had official tournaments like this. So it's a big deal that this is happening. Very big deal. The Smash community is just like, whoa, what? This is wow, this is shocking. So I think they're happy. I think they're happy about this. Forza Horizon 5 had the biggest launch in Xbox history with more than 10 million players in the first week. Congratulations to Forza, Xbox, and Playground Games for that awesome, amazing achievement. Rockstar has apologized for GTA Definitive Edition issues, and they asked that players stop harassing developers because apparently that's been happening. And they are relisting the original versions of the games on PC, and PC owners of the Definitive Edition will get those original versions for free. So they're making good on things over there. They are going to be fixing stuff as well. I know they put out a patch, I think a day or two ago. So they're going to be working on stuff, try to make this better and all. Couple games have had their release dates changed. Controversial game 6 Days in Fallujah was delayed to next year. Saints Row, that was delayed from February 25th to August 23rd, 2022. Some people in the replies on Twitter basically asked hey, is this, we're trying to get away from Elden Ring? They were like, no, we were actually looking forward to doing release on the same day, but we just needed more time in the game. Yeah. Basically, that's what both of them and 6 Days of Fallujah's team said. They both we just need more time in the game. Capcom's Pragmata, which was first shown during the PS5 reveal, that got delayed to 2023. And Sifu, which was recently delayed. Well, I don't know if delayed is the right word, but recently had a release date announcement of February 22nd, has been moved up to February 8th of 2022. So that's awesome. Very rare to hear about a game's release date getting moved up. It is now out of the way of the latter half of February's just deluge of big game releases. Very good move on their part. Yeah. Dragon Ball The Breakers has been announced. It is basically Dragon Ball Z Dead by Daylight version.
Oh, seems interesting. Cool.
It's you could play as either just a random civilian trying to survive, or you could play as Cell, Frieza, or Kid Buu. Basically, trying to hunt people. It seems interesting. Am I gonna play it? No. But hey, that's I would not have expected this type of Dragon Ball game at all. I would have expected yet another 3D fighter. Yeah. So There we go. Fortnite has shut down their Chinese servers. It just wasn't happening over there. Time they're like, all right, we're gonna cut the plug on this.
Yeah.
PAX East is returning in April from April 21st to the 24th, and there will be vaccination and mask mandates in place. Ali Dev Roll 7 has been bought by Private Division. For those who do not know, Private Division is Take-Two's kind of like indie publishing arm over there. So that team's been bought up. Good for them. Alien Isolation is apparently coming to mobile on December 16th. And as Sega says, it's coming without compromise. How this is the case without compromise on mobile is beyond me. But they said it's the full game. Whatever DLCs came out, it's coming to mobile without compromise. We will see what that means come December 16th. 3 new games in the League of Legends universe have been announced. One of them is a fighting game. One of them is like a rhythm running type game. And the other one, I'm not quite sure. I forgot exactly what it is. But the League of Legends universe just keeps on expanding. And apparently that Netflix show Arcane is a smash hit and like kind of like a masterpiece according to a lot of people. And it's getting a second season. So congratulations to that team and all the fans of that show and that universe. You guys are feasting for sure.
Yeah, just real quick, I saw that Arcane's been getting pretty much 10s everywhere.
Yeah, I'm makes me want to watch it at some point. I got to get around to that one. And our final brief mention here is that Sega has clarified that their strategic alliance with Microsoft will not result in exclusive games, and it's literally just for their technical support when it comes to making their super game, as they call it. So all those theories and the speculation about is this going to be, are we going to get exclusive Sega games from Microsoft? Are we going to get Sega getting acquired by Microsoft? Doesn't look like that's happening at all. Like kind of we said on the podcast when we talked about it that episode. So nice to have Sega finally speak out officially on it. Okay. Now, Keiran, we got to start this episode off by talking about Activision Blizzard yet again and why Bobby Kotick needs to resign from that company.
Yep.
We've talked about this when the story first broke out over the summer, and we said back then, and in the weeks after that and months after that, talked about how basically a full house cleaning needs to happen at that company.
Yep.
From top to bottom, how everything over there just needs to be redone. You got to get rid of all the executives who allow this stuff to happen. They just need to go. And when that first report came out, when the first news report about all this came out, you had people over there at Activision Blizzard, some of them being fired, some people leaving. You had people putting out statements, some of them saying, yeah, we weren't aware of this. Bobby Kotick, CEO over there at Activision Blizzard, was one of those. And as CEO, he was saying he was not aware of what was going on. He didn't know, but he was going to make it his mission, to make things better. And it turns out that was a lie. That was a full-faced lie. Mm-hmm. Now, before we get into this, yet again, I want to give a content warning. We won't be talking too in-depth about this actual report. We're going to talk about these some allegations and claims that were brought up in the report, but we're not going to be reading directly to verbatim from the Washington Post report. But we will be covering, again, topics of sexual harassment, rape, sexual mistreatment, so on and so forth during this section. So if you are not comfortable listening to that, don't want to hear it, by all means, jump ahead in the description in the episode. The timestamps are there. By all means, go ahead. We understand. No hard feelings.
Yep.
But that is going to be covered in this section. And also, disclosure, we are taking the censors off for this section. Mm-hmm. We are uncensoring ourselves because it just needs to be done for this section.
Yep.
Like for this one episode, it needs to be done. With all that being said, on Tuesday this week, the Washington Post, Kirsten Grind, Ben Fritz, and Sarah E. Needleman, they did a fantastic job with their reporting on this, reported that Bobby Kotick has actually been aware of all the sexual harassment taking place at Activision Blizzard, and at times he himself was an active participant. Keiran, before we continue on this, just reading that headline, what went through your head? Because I know when I read that headline, I immediately thought, I was sitting at work, I thought to myself, you have to be fucking kidding me. Are you fucking serious?
Kind kind of the same as me, actually. I was like, I mean, like I said in my video yesterday, it seems every single day I wake up expecting to see another like damning report about Activision Blizzard. And this one kind of just took the cake for me. It's like I have lost all faith in any activities that the board or higher ups at Activision Blizzard are trying to do, or anything that comes out of their mouths. I am not believing.
Yeah, I read the article and I was. We'll get into it, but basically, kind of like you, I'm kind of done with them. I'm done with them. I'm like, you guys are a lost cause. You guys are just terrible. I already knew you all were, but this seals the deal. And what followed in the days after this report came out just kind of really hammered that point home.
Yep.
So Washington Post, they're in their expose, in their big report. They mentioned new situations that were not reported before at all in the initial July report that came out, and the mini stories that came out after that July report that kind of broke the lid on this entire thing. They have new situations here, including rape that happened at Sledgehammer Games in 2016 and 2017, harassment that happened at Treyarch by company's co-head, or at least former co-head as of now, Dan Bunting in 2017, and also mistreatment, such as workplace drinking, comments on how women look, sharing explicit content, and trips to strip clubs that happened at many studios. This was just common at many studios across Activision Blizzard. So going back to Bobby Kotick, he knew about all this. He was well aware, and he failed to inform Activision's board of directors on these situations, thereby lying, as we already said, when he said that he never knew about any of this. And if you all remember, after the story broke, an email came out from Fran Townsend, basically that was so disgusting and repulsive and repugnant that all the employees there, that kind of like led to the walkout that happened, that initial walkout that happened over there at Activision Blizzard. And then that led to her stepping down from her head position that she was in, some head position over there for, I think, a women's group of some sort at Activision Blizzard. I don't remember the specific name of it, but she stepped down from it. And then Bobby Kotick, after that email came out and everyone gave it like such a negative response, he came out and he said that email was tone deaf. That was not, that wasn't the right move to make. We apologize for that, so on and so forth. Turns out he's the one that wrote the email. He wrote the email and then had Fran Townsend send the email out. So and then he wants to say afterwards, okay, that was a bad one. We shouldn't have done that. You don't say. You don't say. So all of that right there is kind of like a broad overview of this report. And all that on its own, when you just like the broad scopes of everything, is very damning on its own.
Yep.
But as we start to get into like some of the specifics of these stories, it gets even worse. So first up, we'll talk about Dan Bunting and the sexual harassment that he was doing over at Treyarch. And now this is a quote directly from the Washington Post report. They say here, quote, Dan Bunting, co-head of Activision's Treyarch studio, was accused by a female employee of sexually harassing her in 2017 after a night of drinking, according to people familiar with the incident. Activision's Human Resources Department and other supervisors launched an internal investigation in 2019 and recommended that he be fired. But Mr. Kotick intervened to keep him, these people said. Mr. Bunting, who led Treyarch through the production of several successful Call of Duty games, was given counseling and allowed to remain at the company, these people said, end quote. And then a spokesperson for the company spoke to the Washington Post, and they said that an outside investigation took place in 2020 with the company deciding to, quote, impose other disciplinary measures, end quote, instead of firing Bunting. But Bunting left Treyarch after the Wall Street Journal. I keep saying Washington Post for support. It was Wall Street Journal. Wall Street Journal was the one that did this this whole expose. Yeah. My mistake on that. So after Wall Street Journal asked Dan Bunting about the incident, He left Treyarch. He is no longer there. So he sexually harassed someone and he was going to be fired. Bobby Kotick knew about this and let him stay. He intervened to allow him to stay at the company.
Yep.
And the only reason he is not there now is because he was just recently asked about it. Like, what the hell? It's absolutely just, it's disgusting and angering just how culpable Bobby Kotick is at all this. Like, before you could like possibly make the excuse like, he's like the CEO. It's possible that some of these situations just like never came across his desk, that they were like kept down below him and he just never heard about them. People made it so he never heard about them. You could possibly make that excuse. It'd be kind of difficult to make, but it'd be possible to, to make that argument,
Yeah, it's feasible.
And it's feasible. He possibly never heard about any of this, that people kept it a secret. But no, he knew and actively intervened to keep these people at the company, keep these people employed at Activision Blizzard, keep them in a place where they are able to do more harm to other people and continue to thrive at the company, continue to be seen as like these great paragons of creativity and all, when they are causing harm to the people that they're working with. And the fact that he was okay with this, because Call of Duty will make money and Dan Bunty needs to be there to make these successful Call of Duty games so we can make more money.
Yep.
It's absolutely disgusting. And I'm at a loss. And this is just the beginning of me being at a loss for the shit that Bobby Kotick let fly under his watch.
Yep.
That he actively knew about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I am so done with Activision Blizzard. I really I know I said that when like this story initially broke, and I'm like, I'm not going to give them any more money until, which I haven't, until they, fix all their stuff. Now I'm just like done with them as a company altogether. And we'll get through the like one of the main reasons why in a minute, but Bobby Kotick can go fuck himself. That's basically the gist of my thoughts on that.
No, he most certainly can.
Mm-hmm.
He can certainly go fuck himself.
Yeah,
he needs to go away. He needs to resign.
Yeah,
immediately. We'll touch on that a bit later.
Yeah,
at the end of kind of like at the end of this whole discussion on this, we'll touch on that a bit later. But he needs to resign immediately.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I remember, I think it was last week or the week before. I think it was the week before actually. We were kind of praising him because we were like, like he's taking a pay cut. He doesn't have to do that, we were saying like some people were looking at it cynically, like, oh, he's just doing this for good press. And it's like we were saying, be that as it may, it's still happening. It's still happening, which is a good thing.
Good at the end of the day.
Yeah. Now I think you should take a pay cut to $0 a year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like it's crazy because I thought about that too. After I read this whole report, I was like, we were just talking about how he like people are being a bit too cynical, and now to hell with it. Just fuck this guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck Bobby Kotick. Just burn in hell. I don't even give a damn anymore. I can't defend you. Like I wasn't even necessarily defending you before. I would just say, hey, it's still a good thing. It's still a good thing, but no, like to hell with you. To hell with you, sir. But again, it gets worse. It gets even worse.
Yeah.
So again, the board at Activision Blizzard, they were not informed about any of these things happening. And going to the Sledgehammer incident now of rape that happened over at Sledgehammer Games.
Mm-hmm.
The board was not informed about these assaults when they were first reported. But an investigation took place in 2018 after executives received an email about it. An employee at the company had emailed a couple times about this beforehand, and nothing was done. Like human resources kind of just like didn't do anything about it. No one did anything about this. It was ignored. The employee who sent this final email about it that led to this investigation wasn't even at the company anymore. They weren't at the company anymore when they sent the email that started this investigation. So when they were there and they sent the email and they, reported this, nothing was done. But now they're not there and they sent it, and now something's going to finally be done about it. That's terrible on its own right there. So the executives did an investigation, and this resulted in the assaulter, Javier Panameno, being fired 2 months later. He was fired at the very least, but the fact that it took all this time for anything to be done about it at all is just, it's god awful. It makes no goddamn sense at all. Not a lick of it. And I have here in the notes here, Kotick and Human Resources were notified about instances of sexual harassment, misconduct, and assault multiple times by multiple employees, but they didn't do anything about them or kept matters quiet and slid them under the rug. There's an instance in the article. I didn't put it in the notes here, but there's an instance in the article where, actually, let me see if I can pull it up. Where briefly, I forgot. I can't pull it up on my computer because Wall Street Journal, they have the paywall. So I got to pull it up on my phone here, but I got the tab still, so pulled up. Let me scroll on down to it because I know exactly where it is. Give me one moment. And here we... Hold on. Up a tad. Oh,
I just noticed you're wearing an Attack on Titan hoodie.
I am wearing an Attack on Titan hoodie. Up a tad bit more. Here we go. It was another Sledgehammer employee in this case. And this person, they were accused of sexual harassment, and the employee who accused him of it, she complained to supervisors and human resources in 2017 about this harassment. And this harassment also included at a company party where there was a whole lot of drinking. I'm paraphrasing here. I'm not reading verbatim, like quoting from the article. So the harasser, Mr. Edward Rorick, I believe is how you pronounce his name, he confirmed he was investigated for the harassment at the office party in 2017. And he said, quote, "It was unclear what exactly did and did not happen since a lot of alcohol was involved," end quote. And then he also added on to that saying, quote, "It was stupid of me and totally uncalled for to get that drunk," end quote. What happened to him? All he got was 2 weeks paid leave, and he was allowed to stay at Activision in a different position. That was it. And then in an HR letter that he got in 2017, Activision asked that he just, quote, "keep the matter confidential," end quote. That's it. And the only reason he left the company, that he was let go in 2018, is because he had an argument with his manager about his green card. He wasn't let go from the company because of his sexual harassment. That was allowed to, nope, keep it quiet. Don't talk about it. Keep it quiet. Stay in your new position. Don't worry, you're fine. But your green card, though, oh no, you got to go. You got to go because of that. It makes no sense at all. I'm genuinely, absolutely disgusted with Activision and absolutely just mortified by the shit that they let slide.
Yep.
And especially because Kotick knows about this stuff. He knew about it all. He knew about everything.
I don't understand genuinely how you let a company get this bad. I'm sure that behind the scenes they're like, yeah, we just want to make money, so we don't really care. But I can't fathom how you can be such an fucking decent human being. Like, you hire these people and you let them be treated like this, and you do nothing. And then when people come knocking at your door, be like, "Hey, you should have done something." You're like, no, it's fine. We'll just make this go away. No, fuck you. You are not making this go. I said this in my video yesterday. All of this like public niceness and these statements and all of this shit from the people who are making them is purely to try and get Activision Blizzard back into our good graces. Well, I am here to tell you, it's not fucking happening.
Nope, it's not. It is not. they are too far gone at this point. They're just too far gone.
Yep.
If Bobby Kotick and the people over there actually cared about their employees, they would have put a stop to this shit a long time ago. But they did it. And not only does Bobby Kotick not care about the people at his company, he doesn't care about people outside his company either, because he was accused of mistreatment inside and outside of the company.
Mm-hmm.
And some of these things were settled to keep them from being discovered. So, as the Wall Street Journal says in their article, 2006, he was accused of threatening to have an assistant killed via voicemail, and this was settled outside of court. And when this was settled outside of court, a statement was given saying, "Oh, he was clearly joking or something. Like he didn't actually mean it."
Yeah.
Who gives a shit? I'm sorry.
Exactly.
As the CEO, you don't get to leave a voicemail saying "Oh, I will kill you." You don't get to do that and say, "Oh, I'm joking." Like, even if you're joking, you don't say that.
No,
you don't at all. That you're a fucking imbecile. You're a dumbass for doing that. It's point blank simple.
Yep.
2007, the following year, a flight attendant complained to the owner of a private jet that Bobby Kotick co-owned about being harassed by the pilot. Kotick fired her and then said, I'm going to destroy you. This was settled in court in 2008 with $200,000 for the attendant. What the hell? I just don't believe it. No, it's not that I don't believe it. I believe all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe that you can just be this terrible of a person, this much of a stain on just humanity and your company and the gaming industry as a whole. Because of Bobby Kotick and because of all the shit that he let fly at his company and the companies under him, Activision Blizzard has gone from being one of the, I don't want to say most beloved companies, because a lot of people have had gripes with Activision long before now.
Yeah.
Just for how money hungry they are, but one of the biggest companies in the industry that a lot of people look up to, in a sense,
mm-hmm.
to now the biggest company in the industry that no one wants anything to do with, and that everyone is absolutely disgusted with and disappointed in, and they are at the bottom of the bottom right now. Whatever rock bottom is, they are below that, and it's all because of Bobby Kotick and the leadership over there at Activision Blizzard.
Yep,
it's just simple as that.
Yeah, no, it's again, I don't know how you let it get this bad. I cannot understand why your love for money has corrupted or worn away at your ability to treat people with kindness and respect, especially people you employ. I genuinely don't understand how Bobby Kotick is still, even as we speak, still in charge of Activision Blizzard. I don't understand it. I don't understand why the board still, again, we'll talk about this more kind of in depth in a second, but I don't understand how the board still has faith in them, considering that we literally just talked about instances of sexual harassment and sexual misconduct and other kind of stuff that he didn't even tell the board about.
Exactly.
Your CEO has been lying to the board for years. How do you still have faith in him?
It's because of money. It's all because of money. But we'll get to that in a bit. Speaking of, again, not having trust in the leaders over there at Activision, remember Jen O'Neill, who was made co-head of Blizzard after what's his name? I'm blanking on his name. But the former president over there at Blizzard, after he was removed from the company, Jen O'Neill and Mikey Barra, they both became co-heads over there at Blizzard. And not too long ago, a few weeks ago, she left the company. She left the company and she said that she was leaving because it wasn't because of Activision. It was because of the strength and courage that she saw from the people at Activision that made her feel like she could do better for the industry by leaving Activision and trying to help the industry as a whole by doing that. Turns out, and before I continue, Keiran, you got the name because you got the name.
J. Allen Brack.
There we go. J. Allen Brack. He was the former president over there at Blizzard. So turns out that was her reason for leaving might be partially true, but it was to hide the fact that she has no faith in the company anymore.
Nope.
She emailed the company's legal team about the fact that she didn't believe in Activision leadership, saying, quote, "It was clear that the company would never prioritize our people the right way," end quote. And she also revealed that she'd also been sexually harassed at the company and was not being paid the same as Mikey Barr. And as she says here, quote, "I've been tokenized, marginalized, and discriminated against," end quote. So then this comes out, and then people are like, so you put a woman in like co-head position, and then you do that, but then you don't even pay her the same amount as the male co-head. And then she's in this position, she leaves, and now you're back with just a male co-head of the company, who he might be a good guy, who knows, but optics wise, that's not good. That's not good. And the fact that you didn't want to pay her the same amount as Mikey Barr, you had to have known this was going to come out in some way, shape, or form. How do you not pay her the same amount, if only to cover your ass and say, hey, they're at least being paid the same amount?
Yeah, exactly.
How do you not? So IGN saw some messages that Jen O'Neill sent, and I believe it was a company Slack, about being paid less than Mikey Barr. And in the messages, Jen O'Neill says, quote, "When Mike and I were placed in the same co-lead role, we went into the role with our previous compensation, which was not equivalent." So she's saying whatever they were being paid before, that's what they were being paid when they jumped into the new role. "It remained that way for some time, well after we made multiple rejected requests to change it to parity," end quote. I'm sorry, that's not the end of her quote here. "While the company informed me before I tendered my resignation that they were working on a new proposal, we were made equivalent offers only after I tendered that resignation," end quote. So they made multiple attempts. Her and Mikey Barr, they made multiple attempts to try and have them both be paid the same exact amount. The company kept on refusing. Why? Who knows? That information has not come out yet. But they only offered them the same amount of pay after she left the company. After she resigned, that's when they offered equal pay for both of them. Which again, how the hell do you do this? Why the hell are you're already up Schitt's Creek without a paddle. You barely have a boat that you're in, and you're gonna just still not pay them the same amount and just refuse over and over again to pay them the same amount until Jen O'Neill says, "I'm out." And then you're like, whoa, wait. Here, what about this? It's too late. It's just too late.
Yeah. Again, I'm going to keep referencing my video yesterday because a lot of the stuff that I said in there also applies here. But it's like, if I needed any proof that Activision Blizzard is beyond saving, they only offered the woman they put in charge of saving their company equal pay after she resigned, as a kind of like, oh, but we kind of like, for public image, we need to have, not just a man in charge. So if we give you equal pay, will you stay? Like, fuck that offer. Fuck the people in charge of Activision Blizzard. I'm done. Jen O'Neill rightfully resigned. Let her leave with a shred of dignity before trying to save a company that obviously, I would argue, doesn't fucking want to be saved.
Yeah, it is very difficult to imagine what happens with Activision Blizzard after all this. Again, we'll kind of get to that in a bit. So this was all just Tuesday. All of this was just on Tuesday, which is wild to imagine. In the coming days and the following days after that, as some of you may or may not know, we had a lot of stuff happen. Both Jim Ryan, head of PlayStation, and Phil Spencer, head of Xbox, spoke out in regards to this. Jim Ryan, he sent out an email to PlayStation employees basically saying, yeah, we don't condone this. We're not cool with this at all. Yeah. And he emailed Activision leadership himself basically saying, hey, we're disappointed and disheartened by what you're doing. What are you doing to fix this? This is like, everything you're doing over here is not okay. Phil Spencer also sent an email to employees saying basically kind of the same thing, that it's not okay, they're disappointed, and that they were kind of reevaluating their relationship with Activision. What that necessarily means, we kind of don't know right now. But the fact that two of the heads, the two heads of the two biggest publishers and just companies in the gaming industry are speaking out against you, and they're the ones whose platforms your games go on.
Yeah.
If both of them decide, if they can, to stop hosting your games, that's a big deal. That is a major blow. That's not good. So that happened. And then again, also following this big report, ABK, the employee group over there at Activision Blizzard, they held another walkout. They held yet another walkout. And they said in their statement, quote, "We will not be silenced until Bobby Kotick has been replaced as CEO and continue to hold our original demand for third-party review by an employee-chosen source," end quote. And they organized this walkout in a matter of like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Which is beautiful. I love to see it. But as Keiran kind of mentioned before, the Activision Blizzard board of directors continues to back Kotick. They continue to still have his side, support him for some unfathomable reason. Money. They said in their statement, quote, "The board remains confident that Bobby Kotick appropriately addressed workplace issues brought to his attention. The goals we have set for ourselves are both critical and ambitious. The board remains confident in Bobby Kotick's leadership, commitment, and ability to achieve these goals," end quote. I don't see how you remain confident. Sorry if that was too loud, people. I don't see how you remain confident in him after he lied to all of you. It's been confirmed he lied to all the board about this. None of you knew that these things were going on. How can you remain confident that he appropriately addressed workplace issues that you didn't know about? How can you remain confident in his leadership when he has lied to you for years? I don't understand. Make it make some fucking sense. A small group of shareholders have called for Kotick's resignation. This group, they have like a really small amount of shares at the company, so like it's not like their call is the biggest thing, but you have a small group calling for his resignation. And then there was a game developer report from the website Game Developer, written by Bryant Francis, basically saying that Activision leadership is standing by Kotick, and it reveals that the company extended Thanksgiving vacation for employees over there for the entire week coming up, upon learning about the Wall Street Journal report. So once they found out this was going to happen, they said everyone gets the full week off. You all take the whole week off. And of those employees over there at the company, over 1,000 employees have signed a petition calling for Bobby Kotick's resignation, which is fantastic. And there's also another change.org petition for non-employees to sign, calling for his resignation too. I myself have signed it. We will put a link to it in the description of this episode. And I'll post a link to it over on our Twitter as well. That way, anyone and everyone can go ahead and sign this petition, because as we have said since the very beginning of this, and as we keep saying now, as the title and thumbnail of this video says, Bobby Kotick needs to resign. He needs to fucking go.
Yeah, I've also signed that petition. I will be sure to make it the first link in the description. I will put it right at the very top. There's a couple of things I wanted to kind of touch on. One, something Jim Ryan said, actually, I fully agree with. I'm reading from the Bloomberg article written by Jason Schreier that says, I've lost it. Quote, he wrote that he and the leadership were, quote, disheartened and frankly stunned to read, end quote, that Activision, quote, has not done enough to address the deep-seated culture of discrimination and harassment, end quote. That's the part I agree with about this entire thing. They have not done enough right from the very start. I'm honestly at a loss for, I'm going to sound like a broken record. I really am, because all the stuff I've said kind of already applies. But the other thing that I wanted to touch on, I have the full statement that was put out by the Activision Blizzard board of directors. There's a part here that I want to read. It's almost the entire first paragraph, but quote, the Activision Blizzard board remains confident to, the Activision Blizzard board remains committed to the goal of making Activision Blizzard the most welcoming and inclusive company in the world. Notice how I can't read that with a straight face. Under Bobby Kotick's leadership, the company is already implementing industry-leading changes, including a zero-tolerance harassment policy, a dedication to achieving significant increases to the percentages of women and non-binary people in our workforce, and significant internal and external investments to accelerate opportunities for diverse talent. End quote. That's as much as I'm going to read. Industry-leading changes, my arse. There is nothing industry-leading about the stuff you're doing. You want to talk about industry leading changes in terms of inclusion and diversity? Go and look at Bungie. Bungie are the people who are making industry leading changes, not a bunch of self-centered rich white men on a fucking board who refuse to oust a person who has lied and sexually harassed to not only the board, sexually harassed his employees and lied to the board. Go fuck yourself, Activision Blizzard. Go fuck yourself, Activision Blizzard board directors. Go fuck yourself, Bobby Kotick in particular. Fucking resign, you piece of shit.
Thank you. You took the words right out my mouth, honestly. And I think that leads nicely into this final question we got here. Honestly, at this point, like you said, Bobby Kotick is clearly not going to resign, or at least he has no intention to as of right now. The board of directors has no intention of making him resign. They stand by him, although he is a fat-faced liar. What is it going to take for him to be removed from power? Does that even seem possible? And if so, how long do you think it is until he's removed? Because honestly, on Tuesday when this report first came out, I was like, he does not make it the week. And he made it out the week. He made it out of this week. Somehow, some way he did. So what is it going to take for him to be removed? He lied to the board of directors. He himself has been partaking in the sexual harassment and mistreatment of employees of the company. He has himself intervened in keeping harassers and assaulters at the company. He has known about all these things going on for years. He's known about all of this stuff, but he's still there in charge. What is it going to take for him to be removed? Honestly.
Money. It's really what it's going to boil down to. If Jim Ryan and Phil Spencer kind of, I don't want to say like live up to their side of their statement, but like if they do end up being like, yeah, we are going to greatly reduce our involvement with all things Activision Blizzard, i.e. not listing their games on their stores, not allowing microtransactions to be bought, stuff like that, they'll probably get rid of Bobby Kotick. If more like sponsors of events or investors or people like that pull out of the company, unless Bobby Kotick resigns, they will get rid of Bobby Kotick. The only thing they are concerned, if anything is abundantly clear after all of this shit came out, the only thing they are interested in is making money. The only thing they are interested in. So if the money stops, they will do anything they possibly can to get the money start to flow again. If that means Bobby Kotick resigns or is fired or is what's the term? Is it's not forceful resignation. It's like
let's say that if he is forcefully removed from power. Yeah.
Then that's what's gonna get Bobby Kotick out. But other than that, unless Bobby Kotick has one good cell in his corrupted cold heart, then it ain't happening.
I don't exactly, and that is what's so saddening and angering about this. Real quick before I get into that, people did notice that PlayStation on their store's website, Vanguard was listed there like on the front page, but it's no longer there anymore. So it looks like, I don't know about the PlayStation Store, like on the console. I haven't checked that myself. But it looks like PlayStation is kind of like removing some advertising from Call of Duty from their site and all. I'm not sure, again, what other steps they'll take, both them and Microsoft, we have yet to see.
Yeah.
But like you said, I think major moves like that will be a step towards getting him out of power. I would like to think that even more public pressure will get him to resign. You have Polygon, an op-ed by Chris Plant titled "Bobby Kotick Must Resign." Basically saying the same thing. He needs to go. Fanbyte, they put up an op-ed by Imran Khan titled "Activision's Bobby Kotick Must Go, but the rot does not end with him." And reading that one, it basically says kind of what we said. There needs to be a full house cleaning. Everyone needs to go. An executive leadership that allowed all this to go on, that knew about all this, that allowed Bobby Kotick to thrive in this environment, and allowed all these abusers and harassers and so on and so forth at the other companies to just do what they wanted. They all need to go. Bobby Kotick needs to resign. All the executive leadership over there, they just all need to be swept from the board and just moved away, gone, or just erased. Essentially, we need new people in there from the top down in order for there to be actual change happening at the company. And there have been, I've seen Eurogamer put up reports. I've seen a couple different sites have put up op-eds like this, basically calling for his resignation. And we need more public pressure like that will certainly help. These petitions will help. The ABK employee group, they're, out there basically, doing their thing, trying to get people, get people's attention, staying on this, getting more support for their cause to get Bobby out of there. I would like to think that more public pressure would be enough to have the board say, hey, you know what? This is not good for our company right now. We are just in a terrible situation. Everyone hates us. We need to get out of this. In order to get out of this, we need to get rid of you at the very least. I would like to think they have that much common sense, but I don't think they do. I don't think they do, because as you said, all the company clearly cares about is the money. That is all they care about. To hell with Bobby Kotick, doing all these things. That doesn't matter to us. To hell with our employees being sexually harassed and raped and mistreated by their other colleagues, by their leaders, by their supervisors, by our own fucking CEO. Who cares about all that? As long as we make money, we're good. And who's the guy who makes us money? This fat fuck. So we're going to keep him here. That way we can get our money. I think that is what actually angers and upsets me the most about all of this. The fact that we made it through that week and he is still there in charge, that he has not stepped down, that he put out a video statement to employees saying, there's an article out there about me that is saying terrible things that are not true. I want you all to know that I care about everyone here. And if you don't believe me, then you just don't appreciate how much I care, and so on and so forth. Oh, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Honestly, go fuck yourself. This is not about you at all, in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, I forgot where I saw it. It's somewhere. It's somewhere out there. But yeah, it's just go fuck yourself. No, you just don't get to say any of this right now. You're speaking out of your ass wholeheartedly. That report is 100% true. No one's going to sit here and lie on your name to get you out of power. No one would sit here and make up these stories. Everything in there is true. I fully 100% wholeheartedly believe it. And all the employees of the company would not be signing these petitions and speaking out if none of it was true. It's all true. You're trying to cover your ass and you can't. So sincerely, Bobby Kotick, go fuck yourself. I wish you were out of power right now, but you're not. And it pisses me off. And I don't know when or if you will ever be out of power, because seemingly your company doesn't care about the shit you do. And they want you there to make money. And that's the most saddening and angering thing about all this.
Yeah. I do have two final things to add on is one, just for anyone who happens to be watching this, and you happen to see, the latest statement from Activision Blizzard saying, oh, we're going to do this or we're going to do that and we've done this. It's a load of company bullshit. Don't believe it. Fuck them. Yep. And two, I want to quote myself, because I put something on Twitter when this kind of story broke. It says, quote, if the whole board stands by and lets this abuser stay in power, it's either time to get rid of the board or sink the ship. With Activision Blizzard's seeming lack of interest in actually treating some of their workers with human decency, I'd go for the latter, end quote.
Basically, this whole company just a lot of change needs to happen over there. And from the top down, everyone needs to go. Everyone in leadership positions
Yeah.
needs to go. Bobby Kotick needs to resign. It is
Mhm.
as simple as that. Bobby Kotick needs to resign.
Yep.
Now. We're kind of done with the heavy stuff for this episode. Where, of course, as always, we'll still keep updating on anything that happens with
Yep.
this situation and everything. We're gonna get into a bit of lighter news right now. And it sucks that this news kind of came like 10 minutes after this Activision Blizzard Bobby Kotick expose came out. Literally 10 minutes later, Game Awards 2021 nominees were revealed. Now, we're not going to do it in depth on all the nominees or anything like that. That's going to be reserved for its own episode where we'll give our predictions on who we think will win, who we want to win, and predictions on what we think will be there in terms of announcements. But the nominees were revealed. You can go vote on nominees right now and everything like that, who you want to win. Although the public's vote is like 10%, so your vote kind of really doesn't matter that much. But we will talk about the Game of the Year nominees just real briefly. Game of the Year nominees are Deathloop, It Takes Two, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, and Resident Evil Village. Of these 6, I was most surprised by Resident Evil Village, because that's not to say that I didn't think the game was great. Well, I mean, I never played it, but I know that the reception around it was like, yeah, really great game. I did not see anyone saying it would be like Game of the Year at all. I'm very surprised that Forza wasn't nominated for this, or Returnal. I would have thought one of those two would have been the 6th. And I'm very surprised that neither of them was, especially because Returnal was nominated for Best Game Direction, but it's not Game of the Year. Like, that blew my mind.
Yeah, I think I might be wrong on this. I'll double check, but I'm fairly sure that Forza was nominated for Best Sound Design.
I think it might have been Best Audio Design, probably Best Sports Game as well.
Best Sports and Racing Game, yeah, definitely
right.
was.
But I think it was Best Audio Design. But the fact that it wasn't nominated for Game of the Year, I was like, oh, wow. I mean, it also plays into the fact that, you know, a lot of people look at sport racing games as kind of like not necessarily always Game of the Year quality. Even no matter how good the game is don't see it as like a Game of the Year. I personally have I haven't played the whole lot of Horizon 5. I haven't finished it. I wouldn't have nominated it for Game of the Year. I would have put Returnal in here for sure instead of Resident Evil Village. If one has to go, it's Resident Evil. And like, you know, I myself said I don't think Deathloop is GOTY worthy, but I knew it was going to be nominated for GOTY because everyone was in love with that game, like head over heels for it. So I'm very surprised that Resident Evil was here. But I did see a whole lot of hullabaloo over Forza. Like, a lot of people were upset Forza was not nominated for Game of the Year. Windows Central, I believe it was Jez Corden, he wrote basically a whole long op-ed basically saying the Game Award, I'm paraphrasing here a bit, but like the Game Awards are like, them not nominating Forza for Game of the Year is like a disgrace against gaming and the gaming industry, like by not showcasing its creativity and all and stuff. He goes more in depth. That's like a bit of a paraphrase of what he, like, his main argument is. I don't really believe it. I don't, like, he makes some points in there about how sports racing games are kind of like seen as not Game of the Year no matter how good they are, and how there are generally certain types of games that get nominated as Game of the Year, which true, yes, but I also don't really buy the whole thing that Forza not being nominated is kind of like a disgrace or what have you. That's not the exact wording he used, it's my wording, but yeah.
I can tell you the exact wording because I I was literally going to quote that headline as like some of the reaction to it, because it was Jez Corden, and the article is titled "The Game Awards snub of Forza Horizon 5 is a disservice to the entire game industry," which I kind of agree with and disagree with, right? Because, you know, I don't think just because a game is, you know, very well scored or like very well received, that has to be nominated for Game of the Year. But at the same time, it's the highest rated game it's the highest reviewed game of the year. It has the highest score. So like, that has to tell you something, right? Like, I don't understand why it wasn't nominated for Game of the Year. I mean, I kind of agree with you. If one has to go from here, it's Resident Evil Village, even though it's the only one I have played out of these 6, and it's the one I voted for because it's the only one I have any opinion on. But I don't know. It does slightly rub me the wrong way that Forza Horizon 5 wasn't nominated for Game of the Year, but that might just be because I'm an Xbox fanboy.
Yeah, I kind of understood his argument, but at the same time, I mean, not just his, but like I kind of understood like why people were like wanting it to be nominated. I understand that, and I think it certainly could have been. I just don't think that its snub is like such like this dark mark against the gaming industry and the games media and people who voted. I don't think it's like anything on that level. I think that might be a bit too hyperbolic or exaggeratory of a thing to say. But nonetheless, nominees are revealed. We'll, again, like I said, we'll do our own episode giving our predictions on who we want to win, who we think will win, and all. But the Game Awards, they did tweet who the most nominated publishers are at the Game Awards this year. Going from most to least, 20 nominations, Xbox and Bethesda. That's really headed off by Psychonauts and Deathloop. They got a whole lot of nominations. 11 nominations with Sony. They got 11 nominations. 10 nominations went to Electronic Arts and Square Enix. 7 went to Capcom and Nintendo. 5 went to Annapurna, Devolver Digital, Riot Games, Sega/Atlas, and Ubisoft. And 3 nominations went to Bandai Namco, Ember Lab, and Valve. I'm very happy to see Ember Lab in there. Like, good on you all for Kena of Bridge of Spears. That was a really great game. I think it's awesome seeing they got 3 nominations.
Yeah.
Like, that's just really cool. That's awesome. Kena was a great game. So yeah, we'll do a whole episode about that. If you want to go ahead and start voting, just head over to the Game Awards website. Go ahead and vote for your choices over there. Even though, again, your vote's like 10% of the actual. Takes 10% into account.
Yeah, I'll put a link for the Game Awards website in the description.
All right, so Keiran, this was kind of rumored and leaked kind of sort of a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
But WB officially announced that they are doing their own platform fighting game called Multiversus. And it has Batman, it has Superman, Wonder Woman, Steven Universe, Jake and Finn from Adventure Time. You got Harley Quinn in there. You got freaking Shaggy and Tom and Jerry in there. I think it's really funny how they leaned into the meme with Shaggy and he goes like Ultra Instinct Shaggy in this game. It's absolutely bizarre. And when this was first leaked, I tweeted out, the line from that Jeff Goldblum says from Jurassic Park. You were too preoccupied with whether or not you could. You didn't need to stop to think whether or not you should.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, why do we need this? Why does it need to be a thing? Seeing the actual game now, I'm like, okay, you actually look kind of cool. Like it has more of a emphasis on, instead of just like randomly beating people up with items and stuff, it has an emphasis on like team play with the characters. So like all the characters, they fall into like a certain class. So like there's your mage. I saw for like Bugs Bunny had like a mage class, I think. Like everyone has certain classes and all, and the characters, their abilities are like made to work in sync with one another. So like Bugs Bunny, he can make a hole underground that he can teleport between it all, and like your teammate can use that too.
Yeah.
And you like use your abilities in sync with one another. So like Steven Universe, he could put a shield around his teammate. So like if your teammate's getting beat up real bad, put a shield around them if they're far away, and they could come, like it helps them out. So like this emphasis on teamwork, although there are still like free for all, 4v4, 2v2, solo and stuff like that, I think that helps it like stand out some. It makes it seem cool. But like my bigger question here is like, what's with this sudden influx in big name platform fighters? We, of course, Smash Ultimate is the biggest of the biggest.
Yeah.
But we just got, like a month ago, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, which kind of was just like, okay. And now we have Multiversus, which is WB's attempt at a platform shooter. No, a crossover platform shooter. Fighter, sorry. What's up with this?
I mean, I'm watching the trailer for it now because I knew this existed. I haven't watched the trailer for it. It looks like Brawlhalla. It just looks like Brawlhalla with WB characters, which I'm honestly kind of there for because I really enjoyed Brawlhalla, so this I'll probably play as well. But like, I don't know what that. I mean, did they? I think people have just seen like, because the Switch is doing so well, and Smash is sold so well for it as well. It's like they're like, okay, we'll just kind of try and capitalize that on as well, and make a fighting game that we can put maybe on Switch and on PlayStation and everywhere, and it'll be fun.
But you see, my thing is like, I would have expected it's the fact that it's all happening now at this point in time. And of course, game development takes years. Games take time to make and all like that. Not taking away from it. But like, I'm surprised that we didn't like that companies didn't like see the potential in this idea years and years ago. Like, I'm surprised we didn't get games like this shortly after Super Smash Bros. Brawl came out. Because Brawl was like a big thing when it first came out. So the fact that we didn't get any around then, like they only just started to really like come into their own, be a thing in recent years with the success of Smash Ultimate, that's what kind of surprises me. And I think maybe it's because Smash Ultimate is like this huge success that people are like, hey, maybe we can do it now. But I'm a bit surprised. I'm a bit surprised and confused.
Yeah, I'm on their website just now. It's coming in 2022 on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X, and S, and PC. No mention of Switch, which I thought for sure this game would have been on Switch. 100%.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not coming to Switch. It's also going to be free to play. That is an important thing to know.
And crossplay.
It's going to be a free to play game.
I love it how when Shaggy won the match with Wonder Woman, he like flexed and his shirt just tore away.
Yeah, like they leaned into the meme on it. It's perfect.
Yeah.
What I think this game has a chance to be more successful than Nick All-Star Brawl. Reason being is Nick All-Star Brawl looked cool and had so much potential, but it ended up also like looking kind of cheap and like kind of like a rush job in a sense. And there was no voice acting at all. The environments, they kind of looked like flat in a sense. Whereas this Multiversus, they went out there, they said, we're going to get the actual voices of our characters to voice the characters in the game. Like there's voice acting in it. We got Arya Stark in here, voiced by Maisie Williams, Kevin Conroy's Batman, Tara Strong is Wonder Woman. I'm not Wonder Woman, I'm Harley Quinn. Like everyone, they got the voices. Like that adds a whole another level of appreciation. Matthew Lillard is Shaggy. He is Shaggy. Like that adds a whole other level of appreciation and depth to the game. And that gives it that extra feeling of what's not value, but like what's the word? Gosh, I said it about Sora when he finally joined Smash. But I'm blanking on the word, but like recognition, like this is actually real. Like, this is for real. Like this is a real thing that's going on here. That Smash does this for all his characters. Like it feels like it's a celebration. It's actually honoring the characters that are in it, as opposed to Nick All-Star Brawl, where it's like, all right, well, you're here, but you don't make any sounds. You don't do anything. You're just like, you are just a toy. You don't do anything other than fight. Whereas Smash, because the characters have the voice acting, they feel more real. It feels like, oh yeah, this is actually that character. This is true to that character and all like that. Multiverses have the voices for their characters, it lends that level to their characters, where it's like, oh yeah, they're not just a toy I'm playing around with and smashing against another one. Like, this is that character. They have that character's voice. They say and do those characters' things. It makes them feel more real and validated. I think that's the word I was looking for. It makes it feel more validated in the platform fighting space and all like that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it adds an extra level of credibility to the game.
That's like, the other word I was looking for, credibility.
That like they have the actual voice actors who voiced all these characters, all the actors who voiced these characters or played these characters in the game. They have John DiMaggio as Jake the dog, who also voices Bender and Marcus Phoenix in Gears of War.
Yep.
But I'm actually kind of excited for this. Like, I mean, like I say, to me, it looks like Brawlhalla. I really enjoy Brawlhalla. So this seems like another game that I will be able to have fun with.
See, it looks different from Brawlhalla to me. Brawlhalla, the characters had classes in a sense, but it was more like, oh, just the type of weapon you use, as opposed, and it didn't have the focus on team play. Also, for me, Brawlhalla felt like a cheap version of Smash, and like there was no music at all. The stage is like 2D art, fine,
Yeah.
but no music at all. The hit registration didn't feel as good at all. Like I would hit a character, I felt like I was playing a Flash game in a sense. I didn't really gel with it. But Multiversus, it seems cool. Seems like there's potential there. It has rollback netcode, which I know a lot of people want in their fighting games. So we'll see. We'll see how it is when it comes out. Some point next year. It's free to play too, so I'll at least pick that up and play it, as opposed to Nick, where I got to pay for it.
Yeah.
And so that's that. Okay, so we started this week off actually on a really celebratory note, and that was because it was Xbox's 20th anniversary on November 15th. 20 years of Xbox, 20 years of Halo. Keiran's birthday was also on the 15th too. It was a day of celebration.
24 years of Keiran.
24 years of Keiran. Yeah, it was a celebration day. But Xbox, they held a 20th anniversary stream. I didn't watch it, but there were a couple headlines that came from it. First off, they added 76 more backward compatible games to the backwards compatibility program over there. But unfortunately, no more games are going to be coming for backwards compatibility. They said there in a post on Xbox Wires, where I saw it, quote, while we continue to stay focused on preserving and enhancing the art form of games, we have reached the limit of our ability to bring new games to the catalog from the past due to licensing, legal, and technical constraints, end quote. So unfortunately, it's not going to be able to go on any longer. This is the last batch of games we're going to get. And it's kind of sad when you think about it, like, man, Xbox has been doing the backwards compatibility thing since what, 2015 or so? 2015, 2016, around then. And it was going pretty strong. It was going really strong. They were bringing back like games that from like 3 generations ago that people were like, oh man, I want to play that again. They brought it on back. And it's sad that it's ending. They were like the one that was really holding on to backwards compatibility as long as they could. Whereas Sony and Nintendo kind of aren't, in a sense. They're kind of like they're a bit tougher with it. With like with Sony, like you could play like PS3 games on PlayStation Now, but it has to be streaming. Some PS2 games are PS4 classics. PS1 games you can't play at all. With Nintendo, it's like, maybe you got Switch Online, and maybe your game is on there. If you got your Wii U, you could do your virtual console, I guess, but it's tough. It's tougher. It's so much tougher over there. So it's really sad that they're ending that.
Yeah, sorry, I completely forgot that. I was like, hey, I should probably speak now. Yeah, no, like I agree. It is kind of sad that they're ending it. I will say there is like thousands of games in that program, so like it's not like you're kind of constrained for things to play, but at the same time, it's like I kind of feel like they should have continued it, but like they say, it's due to licensing, legal, and technical constraints. So I think what I would have to imagine that almost every game that they can bring to backwards compatibility without any issues, they have. So like I'm still not complaining about the amount of games that we have gotten for backwards back compat.
For sure, entirely. And Phil Spencer, he was doing interviews at different places, looking back on 20 years, celebrating and everything. And he did an interview with Axios, with Steven Sotelo over there, who was formerly at Kotaku. He was the former editor-in-chief over there. And one of them, it was about legal emulation in the industry. And Phil Spencer said, quote, my hope, and I think I have to present it that way as of now, is as an industry, we'd work on legal emulation that allowed modern hardware to run any, within reason, older executable, allowing someone to play any game, end quote. And honestly, like I agree with him. I would like to, for one day, like I could just pop a game in my PS5 or PlayStation 6 or 7 or whatever, and like, pop in the PS2 version of a game and bam, works, download or whatever. Like that'd be great, because there's so many games where there's only one version of it. It's like a really hard to find game and your old console's dead. And, you just want to pop it in and play it again for a little bit, you know? So the industry needs to do better when it comes to preserving game history and allowing games to be played on newer consoles. I know with internet dependent games like Destiny and stuff, that might be a bit more difficult going forward in the future. But like any games from the past, like 360 generation or earlier, like we got to find some way, some point in time, man. That'd be so great. Xbox also announced a documentary called Power On, the story of Xbox, that tells the story of how Xbox came to be. And that's going to be released in 6 parts on December 13th. I'm very much looking forward to that. I definitely want to watch that.
Same.
There's going to be, well, we already knew about the Halo TV series. They gave it like a brief 30-second tease, like of footage. You just kind of see Master Chief from behind, like putting on his armor, and you hear Cortana say, "Welcome, Master Chief." That's about it. We don't see anything else. It's coming next year. And they also announced that Xbox Cloud Gaming is coming to Xbox One and Xbox Series consoles for Game Pass Ultimate subscribers. I turned on my Xbox today, actually got the little boop notification about it. I was like, hey, you want to try this? And I said, not right now. Not right now. I'm going on to Halo and look at something real quick. But that's cool. That's awesome that it's there. I will give it a try at some point in time just to see like what it how it performs, at least on my internet. But that's cool. Now all console gamers can, just play, just pop on cloud. You want to give a game a try without downloading it, by all means you can. If you're on Xbox One and don't have a next gen console yet, you could do this to play next gen games on your Xbox One. It's just fantastic. It's awesome. There's no, I've always said that this is a really great decision from the moment they first announced it months ago and all. So yeah, good on them. It's finally here.
Yeah, no, like it really is. I also didn't watch the event. I think I was asleep while it was on, but I didn't know about the documentary, so I'm very excited to watch that. I had watched the teaser for Halo, which revealed nothing, and it
gave us a look at what the suit looks like in live action, but we've seen that before in other things, so it's not that big of a thing. It's like
I will also say that better come to is it on HBO Max? Is that what it's coming
Paramount
on?
Plus.
Paramount Plus. It better be on other stuff than that, because we don't have Paramount Plus in the UK. So
sorry.
I need to
don't get your hopes up.
I need to be able to watch that. So release it other places, please.
Sorry, you might. I don't condone torrenting, but you might have to torrent that somewhere.
Maybe. I've used the cloud gaming on Series X, and like I said, I think I talked about it 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Your gigabit internet.
Not quite, but almost. Even with my ridiculously fast internet speeds of 800 and something down, it's not perfect. It's not like playing it on a native Series X. There's like I said in that kind of episode, it's almost as if someone applied a very faint, just noticeable layer of film grain over the game, but it's perfectly playable. It's it's not super laggy. It's not, stuttering every 2 seconds. It works. It's not perfect, but it works.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to giving it a try, see how it works on my internet. Today would have been the time to do it because there's not really too many people home, but I'll see. I don't know what I want to do after you finish recording. Maybe I'll play some Halo or Forza. I'll see. I don't know. But given that it's 20 years of Halo, 20 years of Halo, but 20 years of Xbox specifically. I just want to talk real briefly. It's what do we think of Xbox's legacy over these past 20 years? It's crazy to think it's been 20 years of Xbox and just all the things that Xbox brought to gaming and what it could potentially still bring to gaming in the future. So it's these past 20 years, what do we think of its legacy? Do we have any fond memories of Xbox for these past 20 years? Let you go first. You're the Xbox guy.
I can close my eyes and picture the entire layout of Sword Base in Halo Reach, because I've spent so much time playing that game with a bunch of my, that's the game that me and my friends played when we got home from school a decade ago.
Wow.
Yeah, just let's just brush past that. You would think I would have more fond memories that come to mind, but like my mind is blanking right now. But like I've just had a super good time playing on Xbox over the last. I've been playing on Xbox since 2008.
Mhm.
So what, 12, 13 years. So yeah, I'm very thankful that I've been able to play games with my friends because of a thing called an Xbox.
Yeah, Xbox. Well, I've never had an Xbox until now. I've always played on Xboxes like at my stepdad's house because he always had Xbox. He had the
Yeah.
original 360, the one. Um, so like I've always been exposed to Xbox. I played on Xbox, but never like I was never like a diehard Xbox person or anything
Yeah.
like that. But I again just the advancements that they brought to the industry, whether that be with
Mhm.
Xbox Live and online gaming on the 360. I mean, not 360 on the original Xbox, and then expanding it some more on the 360, making it even better, and then bringing the avatars and that bigger sense of community that Xbox
Mhm.
Live brought with the 360 era, and how when you thought about online gaming, you thought about 360 and like PSN started after that, and then they also had achievements. They're the ones who introduced the achievement system and stuff.
Mhm.
And then we got trophies over on PlayStation. Nintendo got nothing. But again, they brought in the achievement system and like what that brought to gaming. And now you have people who hunt down trophies and achievements. You have people who really they have that number next to their profile as like a badge of honor,
Yeah.
and like the legacy of like how long they've been gaming and all the games that they've played. And like for some people, they kind of don't want to change their platform because like that shows how long they've been there on that platform. And like
Mhm.
they're like, I'm tied to this. Like I want to continue to build this up. I don't want to lose this. I don't want this to
Yeah.
like be fractured between different platforms or anything like that. Then we get to the Xbox One era, and like, yeah, the Connect was a dud. And yeah, that kind of
Mhm.
generation was a bit of a dud. But we got gosh, what is it? Game Pass. Game Pass started with that
Yep.
generation. Cloud gaming kind of a bit started somewhat there. Like you kind of started to get some glimpses that you want to use the cloud
Yeah.
with games like Crackdown 3 and all like that. Um, yeah, it's the Xbox has done a whole lot for the industry. When you really look back and think about it, they've done a whole lot for the industry. And while the last generation, Xbox One generation, wasn't the best, um, they're certainly on the up and up, and they've been making great moves over the past couple years to like continue forward in gaming, whether it be with the accessibility controller, Game Pass, like we've already mentioned, cloud gaming, having the games on multiple platforms and stuff, PC, whatever, what so have you. Xbox has done a lot, and I don't think that should be taken for granted or downplayed by anyone in any way, shape, or form. As for fond memories, I don't really have too many fond memories, but like I do always love the when I was younger, when Halo 3 came out, my stepdad, he did like a Halo 3 launch party at his apartment. So like he had like his 360 in one room, and like
Mm.
some of his friends, like there was like a 360 set up in every room. So like the bedroom, the next bedroom, this shrine room, the living room. There might have been one set up in the kitchen. I don't remember. But like there's all things were set up
Yeah.
everywhere. Everyone had like little rags that had like a team name on it. Where's mine? I have mine somewhere actually. It might be here in front of me. If it's not here in this dresser drawer, it might be in my closet. I don't know where it is exactly. But everyone like had a team name and stuff. I'm trying to find it. Oh wait, no. I think it's in this drawer. Hold on, 'cause I want to show it. There we go. Yeah. This one said this was for Halo Reach actually when Halo Reach came out. I'm gonna try and hold it up like this. You see it? Halo
Oh,
Reach.
nice.
Yeah, so like everyone had one. He spray painted these and stuff. I think everyone's like the picture and the color was different, so like there were different teams and stuff like that.
Nice.
And like there were different prizes that like we would win at the end of the night, like depending on like who made it to the end and stuff.
Yeah.
And so like he did it for Reach, he did it for 3. It was cool. Like that was really fun. I have a picture here. It's not here, it's downstairs. It's like me at the Halo 3 one playing in one room. My friend and my cousin were there. I mean, my brother was like 2-3 years old with a 360 controller in his hand, was playing around. It was fun. It was fun times and all like that. So yeah, those like fond memories I have. But what do we think Xbox is going to be like 20 years from now? And again, like thinking about what's happened in the past 20 years, what Phil Spencer has brought to Xbox since him being part of it, like in charge of Xbox in the past generation. What do we think Xbox will be like 20 years from now? And like how big a part do we think Phil Spencer is going to play in that future? Because surprising to me, he's 53. He does not look his age. But at some point, you know, as he mentions in I think the interview with British GQ, he mentions like, yeah, like, you know, some point someone else is going to step in. We want to make sure things are good. That's up at the point.
Yeah.
When do you think like he goes? When do you think he leaves? What do you think his lasting impact will be on Xbox when he's gone? And once it keeps on moving from there?
Well, first off, I want them to find a way to make humans immortal, specifically give it to Phil Spencer and have him run Xbox for the rest of time. If, you know, he wants to. I'm not going to force him to do that. But like Phil Spencer, like I don't want to say single-handedly because there are a lot of people who work at Xbox who do an incredible job at what they do. But like Phil Spencer, for lack of a better term, single-handedly turned Xbox around. Like,
yep. It's not an exaggeration. It's true.
No, yeah, exactly. It's like if you look at the state that he who shall not be named left it in, Don Matrick. If you look at the state that he left it in, it was bad, like real bad, to the point where like, and Satya Nadella and Phil Spencer, they talked about this in some kind of interview, I think, or Phil Spencer's touched on this, I think, in an IGN interview, actually.
Yeah. I mean, it's mentioned, I think, in the GQ one I have linked here, where like he says that, yeah, they consider like, hey, stepping out of gaming entirely.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they genuinely consider just axing Xbox and being like, okay, we're done, time to move on. But Phil Spencer was like, no, I can turn this around, let me try. And Satya Nadella was like, all right. So like Phil Spencer is an absolute machine when it comes to just making good decisions. So if Phil wants to, I will happily have Phil as the head of Xbox for as long as humanly possible. But I mean, if we want to talk about what it'll be like in 20 years, I have no idea. They'll have acquired all the big publishers in the industry.
No, that's not what we want.
They'll have bought PlayStation.
No, that's not what we want.
I mean, yeah, I genuinely have no idea because like Xbox has kind of been unpredictable for the last, not like entirely, but in like their big moves and the things that they're doing. Like no one would have predicted Game Pass. No one would have predicted the Bethesda acquisition. I wouldn't even imagine that, you know, 4 or 5 years ago, they would have predicted cloud gaming as like the way the industry was going to be going. So like,
well, by they, who do you mean, Microsoft or people?
People.
Okay, that was because Microsoft, they did. Well, that's why like they have like the in the GQ interview he talks about how they have like 3 horizons, and like Horizon 1 is like very near future things. Horizon 2 is like 2-3 years out, but Horizon 3 ideas are like super far out. Those are like those like big risk ideas, and they'll be like, hey, let's take a team, we'll work on this for a year and see how it goes, and then we'll go from there on Horizon 3 ideas. Like cloud gaming was one of those Horizon 3 ideas. Backwards compatibility was one of those Horizon 3 ideas, and here we are. We see like the fruits of that labor and all like that. Yeah.
So like, in terms of what I think it will be like 20 years from now, I genuinely couldn't answer that because, like I say, in terms of their like big moves, they've been, for at least for me, unpredictable. I don't know about anyone else, but and also how big a part will Phil Spencer play in that? I would like to see Phil Spencer be like a consultant for like after he retires on like, you know, the big decisions they're gonna make. They might just be like, hey Phil, what do you think of this? And like again, if he wants to do that. If he doesn't, then let the man have his rest. He's done enough. But that's also not to say that I don't think that the next head of Xbox will be able to handle the job. I just think that it would be a good idea, because Phil Spencer is the man who saved Xbox essentially, that he have some input into what the future of Xbox might look like.
No, yeah, I certainly think that they will do anything in their power to like keep him in that circle in some way, shape, or form, to like get his insight on things, because they, like you said, they have to know and acknowledge, like, if as long as he wants to, of course, they have to acknowledge that like he's saved Xbox, that he brought it to where it is now, and his insight, his wisdom, and all will be so treasured, and they will want to keep him there as long as they can. But so I think he'll definitely play a big part in terms of Xbox's future. I think if he's ever going to leave, it will be after this next generation. Like once next generation starts up, he'll be like, all right, deuces, I'm out. Yeah. If he is to leave at any point in time, given he's 53, that's surprising. It's crazy. But I think he'll be a big part in setting the stage for next gen, setting the stage for it, and kind of like pushing the boat off and out to sea, and being like, I gave you the tools you need to succeed. But in terms of what it'll be like 20 years from now, like you said, it's tough to say. It's hard for me to really imagine what it'll be like 20 years from now, given, like looking back at the past 20 years and see where we are now. It's tough to imagine. I never would have thought we'd be here. Yeah. But kind of like going off something you mentioned, if not last week, it was the week before that. I certainly imagine Game Pass is going to be, it's not just going to be like a central pillar for Microsoft and Xbox. It's going to be a central pillar for streaming services, period. Like it will be like, if they already want to have like that on the TV thing, like the TV app or whatever, like Game Pass is going to be, I imagine Game Pass will be very huge and just one of the defining ways that you play games 20 years from now, barring any like unforeseen failures or anything like that. It will be a major way you play games, and a major way in terms of just a major factor in terms of games distribution and so on and so forth. Cloud gaming, I imagine that cloud gaming is going to be even better than it is now. And they'll have cloud gaming available like as a native, hopefully as like a native app on most devices. Like I don't want to say iOS just because App Store is weird and all like that, but like hopefully they'll be able to find a way to make like a native app on things. Or maybe they'll have like maybe they'll finally do like our Xbox portable device, and it is meant for cloud gaming and like Game Pass and stuff. Who knows what they're going to be doing and all like that. It is genuinely difficult to imagine the future of Xbox. Console will always be there though. I don't see them dropping console from Xbox at any point in time in the near future, at the very least. It might go fully digital at some point in time, but I don't think console is ever going to lose, is ever going to go away for not just Xbox, but gaming as a whole. I don't think the console will ever like disappear. I don't want to see it disappear.
No, and neither do I. I absolutely will always prefer playing on a console to playing over cloud. But I also don't think that it's going to disappear. That I do think that they might go. I can see them doing like a more powerful Series S, and that be their like main console next time around, where it's like it's all digital. It has a bigger amount of storage and more power, blah blah blah, and that's kind of the one. So like that's the Series X of the next generation. Then the Series S is the one that has the disk drive and less storage, blah blah blah. But I also kind of think that because they are going to be having Game Pass be or iCloud, sorry, be an app that comes with like LG TVs, Samsung TVs. I don't know about Sony TVs because I don't know if Sony would want that, but with like all brands of TVs, I can see TVs starting to ship with an Xbox controller.
But maybe I don't know about an Xbox controller. But maybe they'll do some deals like that.
Yeah.
But hey, who knows? Honestly, it's crazy to think 20 years in the future, like what it'll be like, especially since we're not devs or anything like that. It's really tough to think about 20 years in the future.
Yeah, exactly.
I certainly believe Xbox will still be here, strong and thriving 20 years from now. And I imagine gaming will certainly be a better place with Xbox in it 20 years from now.
I agree.
Okay, so there was also one more thing that Xbox announced during their 20th anniversary stream that we did not touch on just yet. That being that Halo Infinite's multiplayer did in fact get shadow dropped on Monday, November 15th. And it actually surprised people who even saw the rumors leaked. They were like, oh wow, this actually happened. They actually did it. Wow. So you can bet that day I called up my brother. I said, hey, you at home, I need you to turn my Xbox on and start downloading this for me now because I want to play it tonight. And it actually downloaded very fast, thankfully. So this final story is going to be a mix of actual story and what we've been playing, because we've been playing Halo Infinite multiplayer.
Yeah, of course we have.
I've been playing it a bunch this week. I don't know how much Keiran has played it this week. How much have you gotten to play it?
Probably like 30 or 40 matches.
Hours wise, please.
I
don't know how many matches I've played, but I know I've played about maybe 8 hours.
Let's say probably 5 or 6.
Okay, so combined about like 13, 14 hours between the two of us.
Yeah.
I am actually, you know what? I'm liking Halo Infinite's multiplayer. This is actually also just like not just my first time with the multiplayer, just the game period, obviously.
Yeah.
The game itself, kind of like you said in your preview of it, the game feels great. It feels great. It's fun. Guns feel good. They all sound good. Maps look good. Overall, I have a lot of good things to say about Halo Infinite's multiplayer. Overall, for you, does it feel any different from like the technical previews? Like, do you think that this like beta, because technically they released it in beta 3 weeks early, for all intents and purposes, this is the final version of the game. The multiplayer that they dropped has all the maps and modes that will be there on day one, all the weapons that'll be there day one, everything that will be in the game on day one is here right now. They're just calling it a beta because they want to ensure that everything works as intended when the full game drops on December 8th. And they also put out a nice, helpful time graph, basically saying when the game officially like drops in like different regions around the world. And I'm annoyed it drops at 1 p.m. Eastern time on December 8th because I took the day off that day. Now, granted, I'll still be able to play it 1 p.m. Eastern time. Yeah. But like, why is it not just available midnight? I don't understand. Like, make it available midnight and everyone's happy. It doesn't make sense why it's literally middle of the day, but whatever. That's its own thing. So yeah, again, does it feel like there have been any changes between when you did the technical preview and this beta?
I mean, not really. I have access to more modes this time because during when I wrote my preview, I for some reason could only play Big Team Battle, even though that you had Slayer and or like Arena, available to play as well. I could only play Big Team Battle. I played one game of Big Team Battle since the beta launched. The rest of it I've just been playing Arena. It doesn't feel terribly different. It still feels great. Still feels like Halo multiplayer. I still have as much praise for it as I did in my preview. So, yeah, I'm really, really enjoying it.
Yeah, me too.
I will say there are a couple things that I am annoyed with.
Yeah, so I wrote down like a good, not so good, and a bad. My not so good things are more like, more things like this isn't terrible or like all that bad. It's just like something I wish would change. But I'll start with the good here. Like I said, feels great. It feels like classic Halo updated for the modern day in a sense.
Yeah.
And like the dash and the slams from Halo 5 aren't here, which would like modern for gaming for first-person shooters then at that time when that game came out. But even without those things, that advanced movement, like the game still feels like classic Halo updated for the modern day. It still feels great. And like I've never really thought about it until I was playing Infinite multiplayer, but the classic gameplay loop Halo has of like 30 seconds of fun. You know, you get into a fight, you either throw the grenade or shoot first and then finish the grenade, or shoot melee. Like I never really thought about it until I was playing the multiplayer, but I was like, that is alive and intact here. Like that is well and good here. I'm liking the equipment and the abilities that they have, that, you know, they're fun to use. and they add like some dynamism to
Mhm.
fights and all like that. I particularly like the grapple shot. I like that
Okay.
one a lot. I really wish the grapple shot. This is what I think this is. Do I have this in a not so good? I do have it as a not so good, so I'll throw it in here as well. I wish everyone had a grapple shot. Like I wish everyone
Yeah.
had it because it's genuinely fun to use. Like you just hook it on something, then just whip myself around, come up in front of someone or behind someone, just bam, melee them. Like it's so good to do that. I understand why they don't do that because obviously balancing and what they want to do for multiplayer, it would definitely throw off balancing a whole lot if everyone had it.
Yeah.
But I wish everyone did. Let's see. Other good things I have to say, it ran great for me. Ran just fine. I didn't have any frame drops as far as I noticed. There were a few instances of lag, but it's been smooth otherwise in terms of like connection issues and stuff like that. Spawns are great. I've had a lot of great spawns. There have been some not so good ones. They're the exception though, not the rule.
Yeah.
By not so good ones, I mean like I have spawned and like seen an enemy see me. And I was like, okay, why am I spawning here?
Yeah.
Or like, I remember one time I spawned, it was on the map. It's one of the first maps that they showed a picture of. It's the one where you're inside, there's a little bridge on the inside.
Streets.
It's not, that's it. You're inside, not outside. You're inside, it's like in like a little it's like a factory that you're kind of inside of, kind of sort of.
Yeah, no,
there's like the bridge on the inside that connects two sides of it. I'm blanking on the name of it. I think it's Reforged. I think that might be the name of it. But that map, I remember spawning on that map inside one of the rooms, and a grenade landed right in front of me. Like right after I spawned, a grenade landed in front of me. I was like, seriously? And I died. I've also had some spawns where I spawned and then I turn a corner and an enemy is like right there. It's just like, okay, you spawned me within 5 feet of an enemy. That's not great. Like this is the Call of Duty spawns here. Like let's not get that.
Recharge.
I said Reforge. Recharge is the one I meant. But other than that, spawns have been good. Spawns have been great, which I'm happy with. I feel like the 4v4 format works well for arena maps.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually surprised it was that small of like the player count, but I think it works well. There was only one map where it felt a bit off. I'll get to that in the not so good section. Or I'll just say it right out, actually. That map being launch site. That's the one where it's an arena map and there is like, it's open in a sense, and there are like some vehicles for you to use on it. It takes place at night, and there's like the there's like a conveyor belt you can use to shoot yourself over to one other side of it. There's some mongooses you can use on it. I think there's like a warthog you can use on it too. That map, it feels like it should be 5v5 instead of 4v4 on it. Like it feels, I don't know if it's like the size of it, just the way it's designed, but whenever I played on that map, it felt like matches like dragged, or like it was like tough to find enemies and stuff like that, which is like the reason I feel like it just doesn't work for arena is because on the other hand you have the map, the sand map, which is also an arena map, and that one, although it's 4v4, that one still works very well for 4v4. Whereas this one that I'm thinking of, it just doesn't work all that well in 4v4, in my opinion. I didn't really have much fun on it. Whenever it comes up, I'm just like, this map again, launch site, I'd rather not. But both arena and big team battle are fun, and the maps are designed well and fun to play for the most part. Like I said, launch site, I don't really like. There is one other map I'm not too fond of though. But do you have any other good things to say before I get into like the not so good things I feel about the game?
I mean, I think all the good things I think you've kind of covered. Like weapons feel great. I like, not to like toot my own like trumpet or anything. I am marketably improved since I last played Halo. Like I don't want to say I'm good because like I'm not like anywhere near like esports or professional Halo level, but like
yeah,
my KD has 9 times out of 10 been above 2. Like it's been pretty fun. Like you say, maps look great. They're well designed for, like I said, my preview, they're well designed for both ground and vehicular combat. Yeah, it's just a very good implementation of Halo multiplayer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like this is my first time actually being in the thick of Halo multiplayer.
Yeah.
Like I've done some Halo multiplayer in the past, like online, but it would be like sporadically, maybe once in a blue moon. I would when I was like at my stepdad's, like maybe we do a bit of Reach multiplayer online, or maybe it's Habit of Threes multiplayer online. But I never really played Halo multiplayer online. Like most I would do multiplayer was like offline against, him and my brother or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't really like count that, So this being my first real Halo multiplayer experience, I'm surprised at how well I'm doing. I'm just like, hey, I'm in this. I'm killing it. I was about to say I'm like doing God tier job, but I'll tell you this much. Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good for myself over here. Say that much. So my not so good things I have from the game, like I said, launch site, I'm not that big a fan of the map. I forgot to mention also, I like the modes. The game modes are cool. There's a limited selection of game modes though, and I know Halo usually has like more game mode options.
Yeah.
So I'm not that big a fan of the fact that there aren't too many game mode choices, which also kind of gets into one of my not so well. I'd say it's a bad thing. I forgot to write it here, but that does remind me. It is a bad thing. I'm gonna write it down real quick. That's not what I meant to write, Phil. Not password. There we go. Okay. So Streets, that map, it's a good map. I don't think it's the best map for Stronghold though. Stronghold is like your standard domination. Reason being is that it is way too easy to die when you're trying to defend one of the flags on that map because you're on the map, you're on the point, and because the way that map is designed, you kind of can't see anybody coming for the flag until they get like right at the flag.
Yeah.
Depending, like it just like I'm thinking specifically like the B flag. You're at the B flag. People can toss grenades up the stairs to B flag before they even get up the stairs, and you'll be dead. Or at the sides, like the only way to actually see someone is like when you have to like put yourself very visible, and when you do that, you're not on the flag, and then you're not capping it anymore. But if you want to stay on the flag and cap it up, the only way to actually, like you just can't get anyone until they see you. It's just not the best. I just don't like that map that much for Stronghold at all. Like I said, the grapple shot would be nice if everyone had it. All right, this is an annoyance. Not the worst thing in the world, but it's annoying that the matches don't automatically start. It doesn't start searching for a new game after matches end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like a match ends and then like you have to back out in order to go start searching for a new match, which is it's an unnecessary step. Like, why am I doing this? Why do I have to do that? Which also going in that by the same coin, it sucks that lobbies don't stick together between matches. And this is a thing that I've seen like more shoot games do. Like Call of Duty has done this for the past couple years as well. I just don't get it. Like, why are we not keeping lobbies between matches?
Yeah.
Like that sucks. That's like you can have a team that's like great. Like, oh yeah, we gel real well together. Let's keep this going. Sorry, you can't. Friend them if you want to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's annoying. Do you have any not so good things? Things where you're like, it's not bad or terrible, but it's not all that great either.
I don't think so. The only other stuff that comes into my head is stuff that I really dislike.
Okay, yeah. I imagine I know the one that we both have here. So for the bad things that I think about this, there's only two. I just added one of them. I'll say the second one first. Mode playlists. I don't like that there is no way to choose like specific modes.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's literally just a mosh. It's just a mosh pit.
I hate it.
It's annoying because it's like, oh, I want to play some Slayer. All right, well, hopefully you get a Slayer match. You might have to go through 2 oddball matches, a capture the flag, a stronghold, some more oddball, and then after an hour and a half, here's a Slayer for you. Yeah, that's your one Slayer match for the day, maybe. Oh, you doing some big team battle, or you want to do some big team battle, capture the flag? Do some stockpile first, and then some team control. It's just like, come on. It's annoying. It's very annoying that I can't pick specific map like modes I want to do.
I hate Oddball. I hate it. It's my least. It's always been my least favorite mode in Halo. I hate it. And every match, I'm like while it's loading in, I'm like close my eyes, cross my fingers. Please don't be Oddball. Please don't be Oddball. Please, it's Oddball. Fuck. Like, sorry.
I never played Oddball until this beta. And I knew how the game worked, but I never played it until this beta. And I think that was the first mode that might have been my first match of Arena. If it wasn't that, it was Capture the Flag. But I was just like, okay, I'm gonna learn how to do this then. And I was just like, I didn't have a terrible time, but it's definitely my least favorite of like all the modes.
The other thing that the other thing that I really hate that comes to mind, and this isn't on 343, this isn't on Microsoft, this is people who play Halo multiplayer. Learn to play Halo multiplayer. If you're playing Oddball, protect the person that has the ball.
This is a matter of playing the objective.
Yeah. Like, if you are playing Capture the Flag, protect the flag carrier. Like, the amount of times that I have been like, I've been super sneaky. I've ran to the other side. I've gotten the enemy flag. There was once I must have been like a foot away from the like capturing the flag, and I got killed. And I look at my team, and my team are all where I picked the flag up from. And I'm like, why are you still there? I would have scored if you were here. Why? Please, for the love of God, learn to play Halo multiplayer.
It is very annoying. It's so annoying.
It's so annoying.
When I was doing Big Team Battle once, we were doing Stockpile. It was on the night map. I'm blanking on the name. I like that map a lot. The nighttime Big Team Battle map, with like the giant machine in the middle and stuff.
Dead Hawk.
Yeah, there you go. I think that's the name of it. I was doing it once on Stockpile, and I was on the Mongoose, and I had a teammate with me. So we drove over to the enemy side, right? Because there were some seeds, some power seeds over there.
Yeah.
So we go, and there's a power seed on the ground. So my teammate, we pull up, right? And my teammate gets out, and he starts shooting some people. And I'm like honking. I'm like, hey, get the power seed.
Yeah.
Come on, get the power seed. He didn't get the power seed. And then I was like, all right, I got to drive off before I die. I'll drive off to go get it myself or something and just keep running. Had he gone and just picked up the power seed, got on, and we drove off, we would have gotten it. But he didn't. So he died, and then I died. And I was like, you suck. You're annoying. People playing the objective, they need to do that. And this feeds into the number one thing I hate about this game. And I know it's number one for you too. It's number one for everyone. This battle pass progression is god awful.
Yep.
It's god awful. It's been terrible since the moment they announced it. It was challenges only. Yes, 343 has seen our feedback. Yes, they have said they will make some changes. They have made some changes already. I don't like this battle pass progression at all, any way, shape, or form. It does not incentivize playing the game to have fun. It incentivizes doing the challenges and doing what you have to do to complete the challenges to progress your battle pass. And because of that, you end up with people not playing the objective. If they have a challenge that says get 10 kills with the Wraith, or get a behind the back kill with the Wrangler, or something or another, it doesn't incentivize. It incentivizes changing the way you play the game to just complete your challenges to progress, as opposed to, hey, I'm playing, I do well in a match, I get 30 kills, I went on kill streaks, I did this, that, and the third, I got a bunch of medals, I did great, but I did no challenges, so I don't get any progression at all.
Yep.
Like, it should not be like that. You should progress you should just progress by playing a match, period. 1. 2, earn experience towards your battle pass progression based on how well you did. And then 3, any challenges you complete along the way can help you out. It should not be challenges or the sole thing.
Yeah, like I mean, like I said, I've played probably like 30 matches. I'm still like level 3 in the battle pass. Like it's bad. Like because I bought the premium battle pass the day it came out. And like I was like, oh, I'll work up to like, level like 20, 25 by like, Wednesday or Thursday will be great. I'm still level 3. it's really terrible. And especially coming off of one of the other games I've played, which I'll get to in a minute when we start going into properly what we've been playing. Like leveling up the battle pass in that game, like I barely have to do anything. Like
I was gonna compare anyway. Like in Call of Duty, the battle pass is just play. You play, exactly. you know, because in Call of Duty, the amount you get per match, it goes based off of like challenges play a factor in it, but it's mainly based off how long the match went. How long the match went is really the factor in terms of how much your battle pass goes up. So you can do challenges that adds more onto it. So like I knew if I played for about 2-3 hours in a day, it was basically 1 rank per hour. So like I could go up 3 ranks in the night by playing for 3 hours. I easily could do some challenges along the way that boost me up some more. I could play for Halo Infinite for 3 hours. And if I don't complete any challenges, I'm maybe not going up any. Maybe I'll go up 1 now that they've added like some more changes, but like it's god awful. It's just god awful.
Yeah, no, like it's super bad. Like I really like the look of that like samurai armor set that they have, and I really want it, and I'm terrified I'm not going to get it because the battle pass progression is awful. Because like I think they said it's going to have like 30 battle pass levels for the
30 tiers.
Yeah. I forget what the event is called.
It's called Fractured Tenrai.
Yes, that one. And like I honestly don't know if I'm going to get that armor set because I don't know if I'm going to be able to level up the battle pass during that event.
It's like I bought the battle pass bundle, right? So the one that gives you 25 boost, so that it basically puts you at level rank 25 once you're all said and done. I have played 8 hours of the game. I believe I'm at like rank 29 or 30, one of the two. But like, it was a struggle to get there. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
After the first day or two, I was like, this battle pass is terrible. I'm just gonna play, and if I complete challenges, I complete them. I resigned my fate to that. I was like, this is god awful. I don't know why they were so insistent on having the battle pass be based solely around challenges, and why they are still sticking to their guns on that. That is literally the one thing that is dragging this game down for me. If it was not for that, I would be so much more enjoying Halo Infinite's multiplayer, but I'm not enjoying it as much because this battle pass progression is god awful.
Yeah.
It just is.
I did think of one not so good thing, which is like entirely personal, but I also feel like applies to like a lot of the Halo community. Why is the like proper Halo announcer not in Big Team Battle? Like the double kill, triple kill, like that dude doesn't do the like that voice in Big Team Battle. It's only in Arena.
Oh, I didn't realize that. It's nothing that I paid attention to.
Yeah, and I'm like, I love that guy. He needs to be in every mode. Why is he not? Why is it just Big Team Battle that you make suffer?
Right. Oh, sorry, fans. But I guess we can round out the Halo conversation real quick. Just a little bit of tidbits here. The game had just over 250,000 concurrent players on Steam within the first day of its release, which is awesome. And they did confirm still co-op is still coming with season 2. Forge is still going to be with season 3, but because season 2 is now coming in May of next year, co-op will not be coming to the game. Co-op campaign specifically won't be coming to the game until May, and Forge will not be coming until August at the earliest, which is disappointing to say the least. Yeah. Especially when once you've read previews of like what the Halo campaign is like, it's very disappointing that co-op campaign is not going to be there until May. To say the least. All that being said, though, I think Infinite's multiplayer is great so far. Like we've said, it plays well. It's a lot of fun. I can see it being super addicting for a lot of people. But man, they gotta fix that battle pass. They just have to. They gotta do something different. And like they said that they're working on another progression system outside of the battle pass, but like that's gonna take some time to like come to fruition.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that like there is no other type form of progression for the game. It's just the battle pass. It's the only thing, and it's god awful. So, I'm at this point. It's like I'm playing Halo Infinite's multiplayer because like it's fun, but also just because like it's a thing to do.
Yeah.
That's kind of basically it.
Yeah, I will also say, please add SWAT. It's my favorite game mode. Please, please, please add in SWAT.
That is a fun one. Yeah, it's weird. The game it's kind of launching without stuff, and I think that's part of the fact that is being free to play. And I've seen this sentiment online. I totally agree with it. If this is the cost of having the game free to play, I would have rather paid $60 for a better 100%. Multiplayer. I would have rather just them do it full. You know, you buy the multiplayer comes with the game, $60 for the game, and you get a fully fleshed out multiplayer experience as opposed to this. This just allows them to be like, anyone and everyone can play it day one on any device, which is fantastic. I'm not taking away from that. Halo's gonna have a whole lot of players and all. They want to have like this giant red carpet for the game's rollout. I get that. But if this is gonna be the multiplayer experience, I would have much rather you just pay $60 for it. And then, you know, we got seasons along the way. Exactly like how Call of Duty does it. You get the game and the multiplayer is fully fleshed out, and then you get the battle pass and stuff goes on from there. I would have so much rather prefer that. Yeah, but what we have is fun. It is fun at the very least.
Yeah. Last thing I'll kind of tack on. I really wish that like other Halo games would just take in the Halo Reach like multiplayer progression system where like you level up to like Master Sergeant 1, 2, 3, Lieutenant 1, 2, 3. And then that allowed you, while you were playing, you still did challenges that earned you credits, which you would then use to buy like armor things and colors and effects and stuff. That for me is like the pinnacle of like a progression system for a Halo game, and I really wish they would bring that back.
Yeah, I've seen people talk about Reach's progression and customization system and how it was the best. And I remember Reach's customization. Reach's customization was nice. I liked it a lot. And it sucks that like that's not the case here. It's just not. It's more solely revolving around like a free-to-play battle pass model and everything, which it's like it's kind of like the monkey paw. It's like we want multiplayer to be great. It is, but now other aspects go down because it's great. It's just like, come on now. Really? Really?
Excuse me.
That you had said something that reminded me of something else I wanted to say about Infinite real quick, but I'm blanking on it, so it's fine. Overall, like we have some legitimate gripes with Halo Infinite's multiplayer, and a lot of people do, but I'm having fun with it. I'm having fun with it, and I just hope it gets better at the end of the day.
Yeah, 100%. Great multiplayer, could do with some improvements.
Halo aside, though, that was just like the one thing that, like I said, our last news story and what we've been playing blended together. What else have we been playing this week? I know I've been playing Forza Horizon 5 some. You have as well. I don't know how much more you've played of it. I have all the different types of races and things you can do unlocked. I have a bunch of different cars now and everything. I'm getting better at the game in terms of like understanding how, understanding just like how Forza handles in terms of cars and stuff like that. I'm enjoying it a lot. I will say though, the driver's hard difficulty, like when you do well in races, sometimes they'll be like, hey, do you want to bump up the difficulty? And whenever it pops up, I never notice until after I press it. I was like, son of a gun. But my issue with the driver's hard difficulty is that it'll bump it up. And then that bump up is like, it's not like a slight step up. Like it's always a significant step, even though it's really like just like the next one in the menu. It's a significant step. So like it'll be like, go from average to above average. It's just like, okay, it shouldn't be too bad. Race starts and it's just like blowing right past me at the beginning. I was like, come on. And then after a bit, like I got better at above average. And it was like, you want to go to highly skilled? And I didn't realize until I pressed like the next day. I was like, I guess I'll try this. Tried it. I did it for like a race or two and it was fine. But after I was like, I got to bump this down because like I can't finish this race. I literally cannot catch up to the people in front of me. Although I am using the recommended car. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, no, like I have the exact same issue where I'm like, I'll go start a race and I'll come up. Do you want to raise your driver tower? And I'll click on it. I'm like, no, I didn't mean to do that. No. But then it like, but when you do that, it doesn't like put you back into a menu and say start race. It starts the race.
No, it does. It takes like, it'll do it for me. And it'll be like, all right, do you want to start the race or change difficulty? But the thing is, I'm like, I'll give it a shot. Why not? And then I was like, okay, I'll start the race.
Yeah. Maybe I'm just an idiot and then realize that. But for me, at least, it's for some reason, I'm fairly certain it's always just booted me into the race.
Not for me. It'll pop up and then I'll do it accidentally, and it'll say updating driver tars, and then it'll be like, all right, start race difficulty settings, and I'm just like, let me give it a shot anyway. See what I can do. Maybe you're just like tapping a bunch too fast and not even realizing
maybe.
it.
But yeah, like that's probably one of the only issues I have with it so far, is that like the driver tar levels will go from like here to here with like with one level, which is a little bit off to me. But other than that,
be tuned better.
Yeah, I'm still having a lot of fun with it. I'm still really enjoying it, and I will still be playing more of it.
Nice. But you have one other game on your list. I've only played these 2 games this week. Halo kind of threw me for a loop. I would have played other games, but Halo came. I was like, all right, I gotta play this. Be able to talk about this week. But you played Call of Duty Vanguard.
Yeah.
You went to the campaign. You tweeted about it on Twitter. What are your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, the game I said I wouldn't play because I was done with it. I got it for my birthday from my parents, so I went through it. I slightly regret like whacking on this game so hard. It's fun. Like it's a Call of Duty game. It's, shoot things, they die, get shot, you die. It's like more of the same. I haven't played zombies.
Yeah, first person shooter.
Yeah. Call of Duty game. But like the campaign was actually a lot of fun. I did really enjoy it. There were multiple bugs that I ran into. I sent one to Tyler of like no, I think that was a multiplayer game actually.
Yeah.
But like there was one I took a screenshot of it where you were playing as Petrova, who is played by Laura Bailey from Critical Role. Where she's like kneeling down and talking to someone that she's just killed, and like she's doing stuff with her hands, like she lights a cigarette and she like pulls out a knife, but it like played the animation over what you would usually see anyway. So she was doing all that while she still had 2 hands just like straight out in front of her. So I had 4 hands, which was weird. And then like there'll be times where like cutscenes freeze. There's times where it would like randomly like swap a weapon for me that like was nowhere around. Like there was no weapons on the floor. So I don't know where I was swapping weapons from. There were quite a few bugs in the campaign. It's also not my favorite Call of Duty campaign I've ever played. It's not the worst by any means, but it's certainly not up there with my favorites. I think I said I would give it like a 6.5 out of 10, where it's like, yeah, it's good. It's, fun for a weekend, but not something that I would write home about. But yeah, like I said, I do kind of regret whacking on this game so hard before I played it, because I did enjoy it.
Did you do any multiplayer or zombies, or not much of either? I know you did some multiplayer, but like, how much have you done? Like, do you think you'll do some more?
I've played quite a lot of multiplayer. I think I'm level like 24.
Okay.
Which I'm really enjoying. I like. It's called again. It's Call of Duty multiplayer. It's no different from any other year, except the maps and the weapons are slightly different than before. But it's fun. I turn my brain off. I play through it. Yeah, it's
a sentiment I've seen online is that, and this is exactly what I felt like from the moment this game was rumored to its announcement to seeing footage to playing the game, is that, well, at least the multiplayer side of things, is that this year's Call of Duty, it feels like it's fine, it suffices, but it's nothing special.
Yeah,
it doesn't feel like anything special or groundbreaking or different or noteworthy. It's like the series is kind of spinning its wheels right now as we wait for Modern Warfare 2. Like ever since Modern Warfare came out, and it's not to say that Modern Warfare was like the most recent one, was like super groundbreaking, but like its campaign was really good. This was the first one on the new engine with the better graphics. The multiplayer was a lot of fun. It introduced the gunsmith system. I had a lot of issues with it, but even with all those issues, I still find myself playing that game every day. And it was a great time. Black Ops Cold War, it was just like, yeah, why do we need this one actually? Like this one was like rush development and all and stuff. And now this one going back to World War II, it really feels even more so. It's like we're kind of spinning our wheels until like Infinity Ward's A team over here could come back with Modern Warfare 2, the one that people actually really want to do and really want to play. Which again isn't to say that like Vanguard's campaign can't be fun or the multiplayer can't be, good. It's just that it just feels a whole lot like we're just kind of we're kind of stalling for time. And in a year where everything is already like not great and terrible for Activision Blizzard, having a Call of Duty game that's kind of just like, all right, it's like, here we are doing this. It's just like, yep. I have no regrets on like not playing a Call of Duty game this year, not buying a new one. And I've played every Call of Duty since Modern Warfare 2. Like every single one I have bought and played and enjoyed to some degree. This is the first year where I have not bought one. It's been 12 years.
Yeah, and I after playing it, I wouldn't even say it's like, I wouldn't even say I would recommend picking up. I'll be like if you want to pick it up, sure, like go for it. But like if you're kind of not on it, then you're not really missing out on much. And it does feel like they're spinning their wheels before Modern Warfare 2 comes out, because Modern Warfare was my favorite campaign from Call of Duty. So I'm very much looking forward to next year's. A couple of other things that I didn't like. And I think you were the one who mentioned this to me actually during or like after the beta. Modern Warfare's respawn system for multiplayer is definitely here. There is one map in particular, I forget the name of it, but it's basically like, oh, I like spawn dead. I'm like, okay, this is a little bit annoying because now I basically can't move before I get killed. So the spawning system isn't great. The other thing that I really, really hate is the upgrade system for this game. I got the Xbox One version on disc.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
That's what you meant. The upgrade path.
Sorry,
I thought you meant like the upgrading like levels and stuff.
No, sorry.
Gotcha.
Probably bad phrasing on my part. But so basically I got the Xbox One version on disc, and I'm like, okay, there's a thing in the store that if I pay £10 I can upgrade to the Series X version. That's only for digital. The physical Xbox One version cannot be upgraded. So I am stuck playing the Xbox One version on Series X, and I really hate that because I was with my mom when she bought it, and on the box it had this little like logo at the bottom that said, like I can't remember if it's plays on Series X compatible. It wasn't
probably
compatible.
says compatible or plays on Series X, something like that. Like, you can play it on yours.
Yeah, something like that. But like, I feel like that's a little bit misleading. Where like,
I mean, if it says it plays or compatible, it's not misleading because they're not wrong. You can play it on there.
No, but like I can't upgrade it though.
That it'd be different if they said next gen version available on Series X. Like that'd be different. Yeah, or like next gen version playable on Series X. It says it's compatible or plays on Series X. Yeah, you're not lying.
I suppose. Anyway, I really hate that I can't upgrade it to the Series X version because it means I can't have 120 FPS multiplayer, and I can't have like faster loading times and stuff.
You know what makes it even worse though is I'm certain about this. I'm pretty sure Vanguard makes you download everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which makes it even worse because the disc is just the code. Yeah. It's just the verification. So you might as well have just gotten the digital version and then you could do it.
Yeah. Also, physical, the PS4 version physical, you can upgrade. So
Oh, so that's a weird Xbox thing. I don't
Yeah,
know
like
then.
it's so annoying. I hate it so much. Please let me upgrade it. I'll pay like £15 to upgrade it to the Series X version. I don't care. I just want to have the next gen version.
Man, I'm sorry about that. But I'm happy that you are at least enjoying the game. It's to some degree. This has been a lengthy episode of the Play to Win podcast, but that will round out episode 34 of the Play to Win podcast. Thank you all very much for watching and or listening wherever you are watching and or listening. Remember, go check out our website, playtowingames.wordpress.com. It's home for all our content. Go check that out. Hit up our Twitter and Instagram at Play to Win Game. Follow us over there for updates on the show and other things that we might post. Chat with us over there as well. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Turn on those notifications. Like, share, comment, all that jazz. Subscribe to us on podcast platforms as well. And share and review all that jazz. Keiran, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at badlynet, BADLYNET, all one word.
Fantastic. And you can follow me over on Twitter at Tyler Miller 2496. Follow us over there. Chat with us over there. If you want to talk to us about anything gaming related or anything else that we might be interested in, such as Critical Role for Keiran, or Boruto for Keiran as well. If you want to talk to me about other animes, Kingdom Hearts, Persona 5, Tyler the Creator, a bunch of stuff, hit me up over there too, all that type of jazz. All that being said though, thank you all very much for watching or listening, and we will talk to you all next time.
Bye.